I don't want to get in between this because I'm just gonna be very, very practical here.
Why? Who's not being practical? Throw us a subscribe, a review, whatever you want. It helps out.
How many subscribers do we have now?
Let's keep that in house. You would clearly enjoy the Biggie concert more than the Prince concert.
Easily. You'd walk out of the Prince show, you'd be like, I should have fucking picked him.
All right, we're gonna talk about flip-flopping. We're gonna talk about this kid Matt here.
What did I do?
You know what you
I'm a
did.
pillar of consistency.
This is a trash brand. Come on, you could do better. This is a Grizzly.
Hello and welcome back once again to the Memo, everybody. We are happy to be back as always, and we finally have the full four-man squad, which, you know, it only makes sense going into week one of the NFL season. Most exciting time of the year. You have Richard Lyons, Matthew Brodsky, Alex Masados, and Igal Harari. So thank you for tuning in. We're really excited to talk about week one. We got a bunch of game previews to talk about. We're finally bringing out our prediction segment once again. No punishments decided yet, but...
fuck, I forgot about that.
Last year I think we decided on
again.
Last year I think we decided on them a little late in the season anyway, but we get them done. We do them, so it doesn't matter when they're decided because they get done.
I actually saw the one chip challenge in 7-Eleven the other day.
Really?
Like the actual box?
Yeah, the box.
Richard's still scared.
I still have a
It was
stomach
so
problem.
funny.
Still
Igal, can I ask, where are you located right now?
I'm in my room, but
Are you in a holding cell?
I like it.
doesn't look that bad.
Solitary
Just like a
confinement.
solid background.
No, he's doing a good job. Nice flat background behind him. That's
Oh,
what
I
you gotta
get
do.
what I
Look
get
at
the
the
fishbowl.
windows.
I
Yeah,
get
you
the
see it?
fishbowl thing because look at the window.
It's like
Yeah,
you're-
that's
it's
what
a
I was
circle.
saying. Yeah,
that's what
You
happens.
look like you photoshopped yourself.
it really does look like.
If I did that, I would have had a better background. But hey, here we go.
No, dude, nice window in your bed. It's perfect.
My house is a sphere, okay? It's
I mean,
not
look-
fish-eyed.
look
That's how
behind
it
me.
looks.
I got a fucking cardboard box on the window, an air conditioner, a treadmill.
Well, it's a good thing most of this podcast
We're
is.
gonna see a goldfish pass by behind me.
It's a good thing most of this podcast is digested audibly on podcast platforms. So
That is very true.
you know,
Well, hopefully one day people look at the videos because we're all very handsome. So why wouldn't they want to?
we do look pretty good today.
Make a good point.
We do. All right. So as we announced a few episodes ago, we're going to start doing a hometown report of sorts. So we're going to talk about the Jets and Giants upcoming matchups of week one. These are not factoring into our predictions. If you're new to the show, I was just talking before about the prediction segment. We all pick 4 games, and we keep a record throughout the year, and whoever comes in last has to do something funny and terrible and annoying, and it's great. We're spicing it up this year, though. We'll talk a little more about that when we get there. But who do you want to start with? You want to start with the Jets or the Giants?
We know where we're starting.
Let's get into
Go
the Jets.
get into the New York Football Jets.
All right. So everyone knows,
So I can take my 20-minute break.
big storyline for us Jet fans. Sam Darnold versus Zach Wilson, week one. Jets going to Carolina to play the Panthers. I believe they are 5-point underdogs. What do you guys think about that? Do you think that's accurate?
No, I think that's honestly like a bit too high. Like to have 5. I saw 5.5.
Do you
points.
now?
I do think that's a bit high. I thought it would have opened up at like 3.5 because they're both. I get like the Panthers defense like is okay, but Sam Darnold first year going into a new system, new coach, new everything. Like he might need a game or two to find his rhythm. So
I get that.
that's why I just think that maybe 5.5 may be a little bit too much.
I hear that. I don't necessarily disagree. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Panthers go out and win by 7 points or something like that. But yeah, I mean, you have two teams that are basically completely new offenses, especially at the quarterback position. But I think, like Richard said, I think this was last week, or I don't know, maybe it wasn't the Panthers that you were talking about, but it seems like the Panthers are similar to the Jets, just like maybe like a step or two ahead of the process or like a step advance. So I don't know. It could be a fair line. We'll see.
Yeah, I think it's fair as well. The Jets defense specifically was it wasn't slated to be one of the better defenses at all. And then over the last couple of weeks, they've dealt with some pretty big injuries. So, they probably will get beat pretty bad, I think.
Yeah, so I actually been saying for a while that I do think this is a game the Jets are going to lose. I do think they match up sort of well, and like Matt was saying before, I think they're in similar spots with the Panthers just being a little bit ahead of them in terms of overall talent on the team, and especially now that Carl Lawson went down, and the Jets don't have that premier or was hopefully going to be premier pass rusher. That makes me nervous, especially with what our secondary is looking like. It's just in shambles at the cornerback position. So, DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, going to have a lot to work with there. And I just really don't like that front seven, especially Brian Burns going against our offensive line. That has looked shaky in pass protection all preseason and training camp. They haven't played any snaps together in any of the preseason games. AVT was hurt. Mekhi Becton got a concussion, just came back today. Font and Moses have been switching off in a competition. So there's just no continuity there, new offense, rookie quarterback. I think it's going to be a tough outing for the Jets. I think they can make it competitive. I don't think they're going to get embarrassed, but I just think the Panthers have the slight edge here, especially at home. Yigal?
I think both teams have a lot to prove, definitely more on the Jets' end. And you know what? Thinking about it now, I kind of do agree with you. It might be just fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the line is definitely concerning, like Rich said, about the lack of continuity and their lack of playing together in the preseason. If guys have been in and out with injuries, you would assume it might take a couple weeks for them to start gelling. Mm-hmm. Especially, Rich, you mentioned Brian Burns. Obviously, he's very good pass rusher, but as far as I know, correct me if I'm wrong, that's really the only threat that they have in their front seven. Is there another guy that's
they signed someone in the offseason, not someone who was like insanely good, but someone pretty solid coming off a good year. They have Derek Brown, right, going into his second year.
He wasn't that great last year, but
yeah. Burns is really the one I'm most worried about.
Yeah, I'm just saying that because I don't think that aside from him, I don't really think, and we spoke about this last week a little bit, I believe. I don't think the Panthers defense is really anything that special besides Burns and the safety Jeremy Chin.
Yeah, he's really good.
But Shaq Thomas on the outside, he's pretty good, I think. I'm not going to pretend to I know who Daquan Jones or Morgan Fox are. But, Hassan Reddick they signed.
That's who it was.
He's pretty good. But I think when you have a lot of new faces on the offensive line, it tends to take a while to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, and the Panthers are in a very similar spot. They have a lot of new starters on the O-line, I believe, at least two. And their interior is the weakest part of their O-line, and the Jets' interior D-line is probably their strongest. So if they can take advantage of that matchup, might change the course of the game a little bit. But I don't know. Quinnen Williams was coming off an injury. I'm expecting him to start the first few weeks a little slower. Sheldon Rankins, older player, also I think might have been banged up a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But like I said, I'm not expecting them to get embarrassed and look lost. I think we'll have some positives to take away from the game. But I think they lose this one.
What I'm honestly most excited about is after the game when the media is either going to rip Darnold or Zach Wilson. They're just going to compare right off the bat. It's just like first game, first week. Come on.
Hey, all Wilson has to do is not throw it. All Wilson has to do is not throw a pick six on his first play, and he's already off to a better start.
Hey, maybe they both play a great game. We did. We
did win that game.
We had a rout of the Detroit Lions.
Was it 40-13?
Wow, not a lot of teams do that. That's impressive.
Yeah. No, not at all. Not Todd Bowles-led Jets teams.
No, that's fair.
I'll tell you that.
No, he played well in that game, but that'll always be a funny little stat.
Yeah, of course.
Pick six.
I agree. Alex, what did you say what you thought about who's going to win?
Yeah, I said I think the Panthers will probably cover this. I think the line is fair. They're aside from the Jets defense just not like projecting to be a good defense at all. There's just new faces all across the board, including on the entire coaching staff, the offensive line, like you said, a rookie quarterback. It's just a recipe for starting out not too hot. Like if the Jets win this game, that would be like pretty surprising to me, and it would be a great thing and inspire a lot of confidence. But a loss by a touchdown isn't the end of the world, and that's probably what will happen week one.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And I think a lot of Jet fans are in the same boat this year, which is pretty rare because there's always overly optimistic, overly pessimistic. People, their expectations for the season are always different. I think everyone just wants the young guys to show that they can be part of this future and play well, win or loss. Obviously, we want to be competitive. We don't want to look like the Adam Gase era, but I think most Jet fans are on the same page this year that losing a game where you're in it and you're not getting embarrassed is not the end of the world and can lead to better things. Next year, different story.
Right. The bar is very low for the Jets this season. Like just something to get excited about, show some promise, especially Zach Wilson, most of all out of anyone. Just like, give people something to be excited about. The coaching staff, like drum up something fun, like give Jet fans a reason to tune in every Sunday, even if it's during a loss.
Exactly. And I think they will. I think we're going to have an exciting offense. I think there's players on both sides of the ball that are going to be fun to watch, and we're going to watch grow and, give us a happy feeling inside. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that game. If you guys want to
one more thing.
Yeah,
I've been wanting to ask you this question for a while. I just never did. What would you consider like a successful season for the Jets? Like you could put a number on it, or you could put
if they won 6 games, that's tripling their win total from last year. So I think that should be considered a success. I would like to see 5 or 6 minimum, and anything on top of that is just bravo.
I mean, I'll chime in with my answer too. Like I wouldn't even put a number of wins on it. Like I want a coaching staff that has like a character and like isn't just like boring as shit play calling, like we've seen over the last couple of seasons. Like just literally like Saleh just needs to like carve out his identity as a coach. Hopefully the young guys like buy into that identity, and there's like the start of like some program being developed in New York where it's like, okay, like even if we win 4 games, like whatever, but like just like some sort of identity in New York that like fans can like, regardless of win, loss, draw, like something to be excited about. Like if it's gonna be like a team that like fucking hits hard and is like dirty, then that's what it is. If it's like high flying, like deep threats on offense, like and Zach Wilson showing off his arm, then like that's what it is. But like don't just fucking, I don't want to see this team like go into the depths of like mediocrity where it's like, oh, like we'll come out and we'll like be like a 7-win team and like we project to be a 10-win team in like 2 seasons, and then like inevitable disappointment, and then like we fire the coach, and then like the cycle continues. Like just do something fucking different.
Yeah, I agree. They need to build that foundation, and it starts from the top to the bottom. And like, I believe Joe Douglas, Rob Saleh are the 2 right guys for the job to do that for them. So I guess only time will tell.
Yeah. I guess just like go fucking balls to the wall with it. Like fucking Adam Gase, obviously hindsight is 2020. He was not the right hire for this team. Like I'm happy we went with a coach who has like something to prove. He's not super established, and he can just like go try to like fucking paint like a vivid picture with this team and like have a legacy instead of like whatever. Adam Gase, like he got his Super Bowl ring. He like thinks he's all that. Like Saleh, you can see it on his face. He's like he has a chip on his shoulder, and I think that's great.
I mean, dude, this guy had me pumped up during preseason games, running up what is it called, the stairs on the stadium, like his pregame ritual. And like, yo, that has me hyped up. Like a coach that's going to be willing to do something like that. And, he shows life like that. That shows me a lot.
It's finally also we have GM who picked his head coach, who both picked their quarterback, who are all, seems to be on the same page, which we had.
I feel like that hasn't happened in so fucking long.
Exactly. It was, the owners were being involved. The head coach and the GM were butting heads. There was never any continuity between anyone, and now it finally seems that way. We'll find out because we got to give it time. But it should be an exciting season for Jets fans, and that doesn't mean playoffs. That just means, exciting to watch, But, I can't wait. I just want Sunday to be here, sitting down all day. Red zone on one TV, Jets on the other. It's gonna be awesome.
We having a pool party at your place? Is that the moves? Though?
That is the moves. I said to come over at like 11.
That would be dope. All right,
it's gonna be a beautiful day.
Nice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really nice.
I'll bring the TV out. Maybe we could get the projector for the other for red zone.
Throw some chlorine.
We can't. We're not gonna be able to watch on the projector. It's gonna be too bright out. All right, on to the New York Giants. And next week we're going to be doing, for these teams, a little recap and a look forward. So there'll be more content for both things. So the Giants are playing the Denver Broncos, if I'm correct.
You are correct.
Home or away? Yeah. Is it home?
I think it's home.
Home against Denver.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are like a 1 point favorite.
1 point favorite?
3 point. 3 points.
Sorry.
Okay. I don't know. Does anyone want to start off with that one?
So Saquon Barkley is playing. They announced. He said he's probably going to be good to go.
What about Kenny?
Yeah, he's been. I think he's been questionable for a while now. I don't know if he's been practicing, but
Ingram's a long
him.
shot.
Yeah, Ingram. It looks like he's not going to play. So already you have this offense is pretty banged up. You would assume, if Galladay and Barkley are going, they're not going to be at 100% probably. But, so I'm seeing Kenny Galladay was practicing last week, so he'll probably suit up. But I don't know. I think the biggest thing with this team, and everybody can beat a dead horse here, it's just going to be on if Daniel Jones can bring this offense any sort of consistency or, spark, because – the offensive line might not be there. The weapons are there. If Barkley, Galladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and Evan Ingram are healthy, like that is not a bad group of weapons there. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Jones just has to be able to get them the ball. So I think that there's some potential with the offense, and obviously their defense last year was surprisingly very good. I think it was like a top 10 defense out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. They brought a lot of guys back, so we'll see about that. But yeah, the story of this team is going to be the offensive line and Daniel Jones. And until further notice, I'm not ready to buy into Daniel Jones or the offensive line. But I don't think Denver's very good either, so I don't really know how to pick this game. I'm not picking it technically, but I don't. It's a close one.
I think this game, like I when I was looking at which game to pick for like the spread picks that we're going to do later on, I was just like, saw this game, I was like, ew, this game is probably going to be horrible. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think you're right. It all comes down to Daniel Jones. Like the pressure is on for him because he does have a good group of weapons over there. I agree with you also in that I'm not ready to buy into him. Like biggest thing with me, and I'm not a quarterback expert by any means, but all I can say is can I tell if a quarterback is being accurate? Yes or no? And if a quarterback is accurate, then he'll probably have somewhere to be in the league. And Daniel Jones just, he's very hit or miss, and he can be inaccurate at times, and he puts the ball on the turf. And I think that's to me, that means he, if he doesn't look greatly improved this season, then he might be on his way out of the NFL. with this group of weapons. So that's like my little Giants preview, being not a big Giant fan at all. And then on the other hand, there's the Broncos, who like are kind of in a similar position, like young quarterback. Well,
Well,
is
Teddy's
Drew Lock
starting.
their starter?
No,
Teddy.
Yeah, so they're like in a weird phase. They're like exactly what I don't want the Jets to become with this new like regime. Like just not that much to be excited about. Like probably will be a bad to like middle of the pack team, a coach that seems like might be on his last like could get fired if they don't get off to a good start this season. A quarterback who's a veteran and also nobody is excited about. So yeah, this game will probably be pretty bad.
The thing with the Broncos is, I mean, their roster, if you look at the names that they have on their roster, they could be a pretty good team. Obviously, the quarterback position is what's holding them back.
Really?
Yeah, their defense, their secondary, they might have the best secondary in the league with Bryce Callahan, Bradley Roby. They drafted Patrick Surtain, and
I feel like they just carry over that legacy.
Jonathan Simmons?
I don't know.
Which?
Who are you asking about?
Justin Simmons, the safety. They're all filthy.
Did they have a good defense last year? I feel like every year people say the Broncos defense is good just because their defense was good when they won the Super Bowl.
No, they definitely they had a good defense. I'm pulling up the numbers right now, but they have a lot of names. They have a lot of good players on that defense and a lot of guys who just signed very big contracts with them.
Then what do they even have? What do they have on offense aside from like Cortland Sutton? He's pretty good.
Jerry Jeudy,
right?
Melvin Gordon,
and that rookie
Cortland Sutton, Noah Fant, KJ Hamler.
The Broncos last year were the 5th best pass defense, 5th fewest yards allowed through the air, and they were very bad at run defense.
Well, here's a big question. Will Bradley Chubb be playing in the game? Because
that didn't seem like that big of a deal to me. It said traffic infractions. I mean, he's going to have to like pay a fine.
I guess.
I don't think he's in jail.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, why isn't he paying the fines? He's a millionaire NFL player. That's what I want to know.
Maybe he didn't know.
Maybe that's true. If he's playing, which I guess we're expecting him to, I just can't imagine that their D-line does not wreak havoc on that O-line, who looks awful, and then in turn will rattle Daniel Jones. And look, Kenny Galladay, I think he said today or yesterday that he's expecting them to start slow on offense, given injuries they've had and no continuity in terms of skill players, because I think they've been missing guys throughout the preseason and training camp, and they haven't really played together, which is concerning to hear from your best wide receiver, that you're expecting to start slow. So
he's been banged up for years now. This guy.
I know. So he's not sounding very confident. I don't know if I can be very confident. And I think the Broncos defense is pretty much built to rattle a guy like Daniel Jones with this O-line. So I would take the Broncos here. I think it's probably gonna be an ugly, close fought game given the defenses and the limitations of the two quarterbacks, but I think the Broncos have the slight edge.
Yeah, 3 points you said he go?
Yep.
Yeah, that's a game that I guess could come down to the end. I mean, it depends on what Teddy Bridgewater is going to give for the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it being very much.
The Broncos are 3-point
favorites on the road, though.
Yeah.
So
the Broncos are?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn, that's not a very good.
That's basically Vegas saying the Broncos are much better than the Giants.
Yeah, that's not a very good referendum on the Giants coming into the season.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The defense you're right. They had a surprisingly good defense last year, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, we kind of want the Giants to make Bridgewater look like shit, right? We want Drew Lock in there, Brodsky.
Yeah, but we also don't want them to get Aaron Rodgers next year. So if they have some good quarterback play, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
You're right.
No, but I would like to see Drew. I would like to see Teddy get benched, Drew Lock come in and solidify himself as the franchise quarterback, and then suck again.
And then suck, yeah.
I just don't want to watch Teddy Bridgewater play football ever again.
So boring.
Yeah,
So
Teddy,
boring.
Teddy two gloves. You hate to see
Teddy
it.
Boring Water, we called him 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I like that one. Let's see if
You
we
don't
can get that
remember?
one to stick.
Real clever.
We
You said that?
Yeah, I don't think that's very
Teddy boiling water?
no, boring water.
Boring.
Nah, boiling.
That means he's good. He's on fire.
Is he on fire?
Moving
All right.
right along here.
That's a sign to move on.
That'll do it for your, what was it, the hometown report?
Hometown report. We finally got an actual Giants report in there. Every other week, we basically just talked about the Jets.
Well, now, I mean, there's stuff to talk about.
So now
Every
we
week
can
we'll have
cut
some
it off
games.
until week 9, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fair
You know,
enough.
hopefully
Next up on the hometown report, the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hometown they wish.
New York's only football team.
Technically true.
People think that they're going to be like undefeated this season. We don't talk about it, but like,
Relax.
They play the Jets twice, so that's not possible.
yeah, you're right. We should move on. All right, let's get into the picks here. Richard, you teased that there was some adjustments being made
Lay it on us, kid.
to our pick segment. In the past, if you have been listening to the show for a while, we have just picked 4 football games a week that we agree on prior to recording. And a lot of the time we felt that we were, just kind of shoehorning games in there for the sake of the picks. Then we didn't have much to discuss, really. And, you can't find 4 great football games on every single slate every single week. So we're going to switch it up this year. We're going to have 2 games of the week. We will agree on our 2, most anticipated football games of the week. We'll all make a pick on that. And then what we're going to do for you degenerate gamblers out there in the world, myself included, obviously, we will each be bringing 2 of our own games to the table, including the spreads, making picks based off of that. So it'll give us a chance to touch on a bunch of different games maybe. And, a lot of the time last year we were kind of recycling points and we were all just talking about the same games in a row. Mm-hmm. So this will give us some good diversity. And I guess we could start with the game of the week. The first game of the season,
Mm-hmm.
You have the Dallas Cowboys going into Tampa Bay, where the banner will be raised as the Bucs play host to Dak Prescott's return game. And who wants to start us off here?
I'll start us off.
And these games don't have to be picked with the spread because they're assumed that they're games of the week. They're close enough. We can just go straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Interesting, though. The spread is 8.
Yeah,
It's
very
8.
competitive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So that leads me perfectly into I'm picking the Buccaneers.
Shocker.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think the Cowboys, they have Dak Prescott back. He was killing it all in the beginning of last season for 2 games or whatever, however many he played. He was setting records. And I think in a few weeks, maybe we'll see Dak get back up to speed and start playing really well again. But, tough draw. First game back off an ankle injury. You get the Super Bowl champions returning all 22 starters. I don't think I think they're going to take that momentum from the Super Bowl and the offseason in which they brought back their guys right into week 1 at home. The stadium will be rocking. COVID doesn't exist in Florida. And the Buccaneers are going to win. Don't want to get too cute here. We're playing.
Oh,
we're playing for it.
You know how I like
Definitely
to get
Insert punishment here. Don't want to do that.
Sure, that is a risky one.
I definitely agree with everything about Dak, give him a little bit of time. But what also concerns me is don't they have like a lineman or 2 starting linemen that are out for the first game?
Martin is out with COVID.
Yep.
Okay.
And
so
he is amazing.
yeah, he is a very pro bowler.
Yeah. One of the best guards in the league.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I would take the game, the Buccaneers, but I would take the spread. I would take the points for the Cowboys, +8. You know, they have a lot of weapons. I mean, if Zeke can, come back to what we all know, for him, and CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, they got Gallup, just it's all on Dak. They were on pace to break records last year. So if they could just go back to that, I know it's first game against Super Bowl champs, but you never know with a team like that. So
Yeah. It's a tough matchup to get off to a hot start and, work out the
Definitely.
kinks. But just for, standings purposes, Igal, you are picking the Bucks for the game.
Bucks winner. Bucks
Okay.
winner.
Okay.
All right. I'll go. Listen, I am going to take the Cowboys because I think with Dak healthy, like Igal said, I mean, the offense is an absolute unit with Zeke back healthy. Zeke with Prescott, people were obviously Zeke had a terrible year last year. And, he was kind of like turning everybody off to like whatever fantasy wise, and everybody
Yeah, he
was
stopped
like,
trying.
Exactly. He stopped trying. With Dak there, I mean, the two of them together are a very, very dynamic duo. I don't doubt that Zeke will bounce right back to form this year. And, when that line is
Co-rookie of the year.
they were co-rookie of the year, which is stupid, but
They weren't actually, no. I think Dak brought Zeke on stage and he was like, we're co-rookie of the year.
oh, Dak won it.
I think Dak won it and then told Zeke to come up with him.
Still stupid.
Sorry to interrupt you, but
and with the healthy offensive line, I think that offense is going to absolutely cook. Like, they can score 30 points a game on anybody, I think, with CeeDee Lamb expected to take a huge jump. Amari Cooper is still, a top-tier wide receiver in the league. And Michael Gallup has been pretty forgotten about the past year or two since CeeDee Lamb has gotten there. But I think you could do a lot worse than him as your third wide receiver.
mm-hmm. You
and-
could
Well,
the best third wide receiver in the league, no? But I mean, unless you're
could-
Bucks, but
oh, true. That's a good point. But he's definitely up there. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great third option. And Dak will spread the ball out. So you have to account for all three of those guys.
Mhm.
Now, I think the one place where you can get Tampa Bay is their secondary. Obviously, their front seven is fantastic. And it's going to be on the Cowboys' offensive line and whoever's starting in place of Zach Martin to give Dak the right amount of time. But the kicker for me here is I think that the Cowboys defense is actually going to be a lot improved. And, that's easy to say when they were like the worst defense in the history of the league last year, but it can't possibly get worse. So they revamped it a little bit. They brought in guys like Malik Hooker, Keanu Neal, Jalen. I mean, their linebacker core of Van Der Esch, Jalen Smith, Keanu Neal, and the rookie Micah Parsons is crazy. That's a very good linebacker group. And what Parsons has been able to provide for them, if you've watched Hard Knocks or you watched the preseason games, I mean, the guy is an absolute animal. And I think he'll quickly become one of the best linebackers in the NFL. And Tom Brady is done, and this is the year that he's fallen off the cliff. So give me the Cowboys.
it's a classic Matt answer. I like it.
Have I said that before?
Once or twice.
Never.
Well,
Never in your life.
I'm telling you, man, I'll be right eventually, and then you'll all bow down.
All right.
It doesn't even count anymore.
No, it will count, and I'll never let anybody forget it.
I am taking the Bucks. I think it's. I just think there are kinks that the Cowboys have to work out here, especially with Prescott coming back. 2 injuries he had to deal with. Going to be a little rusty, and the Bucks have the most continuity between seasons in NFL history. So they're going to just get off rolling, get off to a hot start. No need to develop chemistry. No need to figure out, who's going where, how you like to run the offense. They know what they want to do. And, if that pass rush, if it's anything like it was in that playoff run, it's going to be a tough game for the Cowboys and Dak's first game back. So just give me the Bucks. I'm not going to get cute in the first prediction of the year. Put myself in a hole.
Safe play, my friend.
Safe.
That's the cutest.
Oh, thank you. I don't really think Tampa's going to be that good this year. Everybody thinks that they are
Jesus Christ.
by
That's
far and
fucking
away
good.
the best team in the NFL. And let's not forget, they weren't the best team in the NFL last year with the same roster.
I don't. They won the Super Bowl. What else can you do?
They didn't do it.
During the season. They were a fucking wild.
They were 11-5.
They were a wild card team, weren't they?
Yeah. So
I mean, they kind of just, they floated by. They got hot beating up on the Falcons and the Lions at the end of the year. They played
forgive
Taylor
them for
Heineke.
getting up to speed.
Taylor Heineke. They played a corpse of Drew Brees, and then Matt LaFleur cost the Packers the NFC Championship game. And then you face backup tackles in the Super Bowl, and this is what happens.
They didn't beat Mahomes at all.
I cannot believe that you keep doing this every year.
Whatever, let him do it.
I think
just the fact that you said that.
Did that not happen? What I just said? Did that not happen?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, they weren't the best team in the NFL in the beginning of the season when they have a new quarterback and a new offense and a new this and a new that, and it takes a little bit to get up to speed with the 45-year-old back there, and then he rattles off like 10 wins in a row and wins the Super Bowl like he ever does all the time.
Yeah. I mean, keep saying it. I love it. It's more content for us to post for you to look stupid.
If the Packers went for it on fourth down, we're not even having this conversation because then the Packers would be playing on Thursday night.
Oh
No.
my God! How many times are we going to make excuses for this guy Rodgers?
Guy couldn't run it into the end zone. Had a clear lane.
Yeah, you want to get cracked by fucking Levante David?
For the chance of the Super Bowl, I think I would.
Cerebral. He knew he had another down until he didn't.
Yeah. Whatever. Next game.
All right, next game. So we have 3 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 1 Dallas Cowboys. The next game of the night that we are picking. This is an interesting game, a little fun one that we have here with some exciting skill position players. You have the Arizona Cardinals going into Tennessee to face the Titans.
The Titans.
I'm getting a little tipsy.
I'm gonna go with the Tennessee Titans. I am a big supporter of the Fire Cliff Kingsbury movement. I do not believe.
Why?
Because he sucks at head coaching. I just don't think this team will be coached on the same level as the Tennessee Titans. Comparable weapons.
Vrabel.
What do you mean? This guy's consistently getting it done. Teams in the playoffs. Ryan Tannehill turns it around. What do you want from him? A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, Derrick Henry, best weapons they've had.
Johnny Smith.
He's on the Patriots.
All up to date with my all-season transactions.
One of the most stacked group of weapons in the league. And I just think they're a better team overall. I like Kyler Murray, obviously. DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Green. Is he healthy? We don't know.
He's like their 6th receiver. Right?
Yeah. I just don't trust the Arizona Cardinals in a big game against a proven, well-coached, good, solid team to get it done. Because I think Cliff Kingsbury will do something stupid and cost them the game. Because he does it all the time.
Is this a big game?
Yeah, game 1 against a good team. You want to prove that you're one of the.
They beat Buffalo last year.
On the hail fake Murray.
Fake.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
All right. Well,
Kingsbury drew up a great play, the Hail Mary.
Kyler Murray's still on the team
40 years ago.
All right, so you're taking the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
I'm all over the MVP of the – no, I'm kidding.
Oh, God, here we go.
I'm not doing that again. But I'm taking the Arizona Cardinals. I am a huge believer in Kyler Murray. And also,
Me too, by the way. Me too, just saying.
All right. My turn. But also, I think even, not even adding J.J. Watt, like their defense is stacked. Like you have guys, J.J. Watt, Chandler Jones, Isaiah Simmons, like these are
fake it.
Boot it. But yeah, I think
which one of those players is guarding A.J. Brown and Julio Jones? Just let me know.
They don't have Patrick Peterson anymore.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Julio's gone.
Look up there.
He is washed.
We let Egal talk.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Keep going.
But
shut up.
But yeah, no, I'm going to take the Cardinals for this game. I know that they're underdogs. What are their points? Like +3 or something like that?
Let me pull it up. Keep going.
I got it
But
right here.
I do.
They are
Even though they're
+3.
under. All right, so even though they're underdogs, I still think that they're the team to win, and they have a lot to prove. You know, this is what Kyler Murray's third year and Cliff Kingsbury's third year in the league. They have a lot to prove here, and I really think that this could be Kyler Murray will be at least in like the top 5 consideration for MVP this year. I personally think so. I think he's one of those top quarterbacks in this league that is really turning it around.
Yeah. No, it's a great matchup. You know, where
It is.
I feel like anytime the Titans are involved, everyone wants to think that it just based on history that it's not a good, fun matchup. But they've been proving that wrong in the past 2 years. And it's time to accept that they are a good, fun team to watch, but we never will.
No, we won't. I'll go next. I'm taking the Cardinals. Something that, maybe some people are not aware of, the Tennessee Titans will be missing their starting center and their starting right guard for this game. And they have Taylor Lewan coming back from a torn ACL. You don't know exactly how fit to play he'll be in week 1. And as Yigal mentioned, the defensive line for the Cardinals is the strength of their defense with those sack guys there with Watt and Chandler Jones. Is anybody concerned for Derrick Henry's long-term outlook with the amount of carries that they give this guy?
Nope.
Are we going to start having that conversation?
Well, when you're built like LeBron James and you're a running back in the NFL,
We've seen guys fall off a cliff. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
He's
certainly not saying that's going to happen.
No, obviously.
But the workload is going to get to a point where, guy's not going to be as effective.
I just drafted the guy, so don't be saying that.
Yeah, thank God he let Dalvin Cook sign for me. Thank you.
Well, you make a point. He in the playoffs last year, they gave him like 25 carries right at the center's asshole. He ran for like 30 yards.
Yeah, he couldn't.
They lost to Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Listen, Derrick Henry, I think, is a top still egal. He's a top 3 running back in the league. I think he'll produce for you fantasy-wise. I'm not saying that Henry is done like Todd Gurley or anything like that.
Question.
So I just think that, it's going to start to manifest itself. I guess week 1 probably wouldn't be the week that wear and tear starts to build up. But I don't know. I like what Arizona did on offense. They have a lot of different guys that they can throw the ball to. Kingsbury, for the step backs that he does have, the drawbacks that he does have, that offense can get very creative, and those are the weapons. They have the weapons to do it. Yeah, some of his step back jumpers that Kingsbury likes to dish out. I don't know. I'm very high on the Cardinals this year. It sucks that they're in the best division in the NFL, but then you could have all 3 of those teams end up making the playoffs if they don't all just beat each other up. But give me the Cardinals here, and I think the Titans' defense is really not that good. It's never been that good.
It wasn't last year, yeah.
They lost Jadeveon Clowney. They
sucks.
He's good. They lost Clowney. They don't have, they did get Bud Dupree, but I think he was more of a product of the Steelers' great front 7 anyway. But give me the Cardinals
Bud
here.
Dupree?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says something that the Steelers let him go after that season.
Well, he did tear his Achilles, didn't he?
No.
Didn't
he have a career year last year? Oh, he did towards the end of the year.
Injured.
Yeah, he did get injured towards the end of the year.
To your point about Derrick Henry and the workload, maybe that's why you go out and get a Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Pass the ball a little more, take the load off.
You want to put more pressure on Ryan Tannehill's hands?
Hey, well, let's not act like Ryan Tannehill hasn't been throwing the ball and putting up yards and touchdowns.
He's 3rd in the league in touchdowns since he was starting.
Obviously everything in the Titans offense. Yeah, the Titans offense even when they're not giving the ball to Derrick Henry, they're running play action where, they fake the ball to Henry, he gets tackled by 8 players, and then that leaves somebody open for Tannehill to throw to. Mm-hmm. This is a really tough game to pick.
And none of us have mentioned, by the way, the loss of Arthur Smith for the Titans, just saying. Which
that's
could be
a good thing for them.
yeah, you're
Oh,
a big hater.
gonna bring this back.
I don't know who to take. I think I'm gonna go with the Cardinals as well. You guys bring up good points. And I am pretty high on the Cardinals going into this season. Like, I wanna point to the Titans as making some major offseason moves, like adding Julio Jones, but like, how much better can you make the Titans offense? Like, it was already pretty hard to stop as it was, and then you're just like, it's kind of just icing on the cake as opposed to like taking them to the next level, I think. And the Cardinals defense is good, and their front seven is a big strength of theirs, which I think matches up well with the Titans. I think it's going to be a great game, but I think the Cardinals edge them out with some more explosiveness on the offensive end from their quarterback position, and that front seven is going to be able to contain Derrick Henry, not completely shut him down, but contain him. Put the game in Ryan Tannehill's hands at the end of the game, and he won't be able to get it done.
All right, so we got 3 cards, 1 tight. Another 3-1.
3 cards, 1 tight. All right. Now we have our little wild card picks here.
Who wants to start off the new fun segment of the year, even though it's the same segment?
Can I get some music going for this?
Yeah.
I'll start it off. New guy, new segment.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
Introduce us.
All right.
Our resident gambling expert.
Wait,
He's
question.
been around the block a couple times.
Question. Question about the new segment. Are we?
Shut the hell up.
Are we?
How hard is it to understand?
I understand. Are we going one by one and then one by one again, or both at the same time?
Let's go one by one.
Okay.
And are we doing spreads for it, or
Yes, these are the spreads.
Okay,
and these
great.
are the ones you pick yourself.
Great. Okay. So for my first game, I took where is it? I took the Green Bay Packers -4 in where are they playing?
And you were using FanDuel,
Saints.
right?
I actually did it on ESPN and it was still the same.
Okay.
Yeah, let's use ESPN. It's right there on the
Playing
app.
New
Yeah.
Orleans.
All
Yeah,
lines
over
are
New
provided.
Orleans.
All lines are provided to you by the ESPN app as of Tuesday night. Obviously, subject to change.
And yeah, I mean,
That's interesting though. What if there's a big we could probably discuss this offline, but what if there's a big change? Like, what if Aaron Rodgers tears his ACL?
In practice?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a controversy like that last year that you guys didn't want to let me get up from, Richard?
No.
Yeah, we'll discuss that. I think we
Yeah,
should figure that
when
out.
it happens, we'll All right.
What was that? Lamar didn't play or some shit?
Something happens. You gotta go.
yeah. So I'm going to take the 4. Is it home or away?
You should know.
Green Packers are away
away.
in New Orleans.
But
So, yeah.
aren't they not playing in New Orleans for the first month or
Yeah.
something?
They're playing in Toronto.
No, I think
No.
it's in Texas.
All right.
They're not playing.
But yeah, I mean, it's just good old Aaron Rodgers, reigning MVP of this league. I mean, you just can't go wrong with this guy. I drafted him in our draft yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just stacked team over there. They're down in Green
Question
Bay.
for you, Egal.
What's up?
What do you think about the Saints' outlook this season?
Saints. So I do like Jameis. I'll be honest. Matt really put me more onto Jameis than I initially was.
Reeling everybody in.
he did reel me in, but I think it's
this guy
interesting. I
Rich
think
over
it's
here.
an interesting team, especially when Michael Thomas comes back. I think it'll be an interesting team with him. Kamara, he's a good guy out there. But I'm really curious
field.
to see how Jameis does this year. I think a lot of their success is going to be based off his performance.
Of course.
So I know it's the quarterback, but you know what I mean. Like,
I think we're all curious, good or bad.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want to see if he's going to be the 30 interception thrower,
which would honestly be cooler.
Better
If he
story.
could throw 30
More
interceptions,
content.
then come on.
Yeah,
Again, if he
that
did
would
it
be
twice.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, they probably wouldn't keep him in at that point, but I would.
But yeah, just listen. First game of the year for any team, it's always going to be tough. So I think that it's not like a safe pick clearly because it's only 4 points, but I think it's one of the safer picks. So
Okay, I like it. I like the pick.
The neutral site game is pretty interesting. It's
that
funny.
is very interesting.
I heard, and I want to double check that this game is in Texas. I heard that the Saints legitimately decided where to play. They had a couple options. They decided where to play based on what they thought would be more difficult for Packers fans to get to, which is hilarious to me. Like they factored that into their decision. I think it was like Tallahassee was an option, but they said nah. So that's funny. A little gamesmanship. I like it.
Any advantage you can get.
No, I respect it.
All right, who wants to go next?
Why does the Packers Saints preview have fucking Tom Brady on it?
That's stupid.
Get out of here.
Always.
I'll run the next pick. I'm going to pick the Chiefs-Browns game. I believe the spread is -6.
It
Six
is.
and a half. Or is it? Oh,
I have -6 on ESPN.
Okay.
-6. I'm taking the Chiefs here. I like what the Browns did this offseason. I think they really improved their defense. They signed Jadeveon Clowney, of course. They signed John Johnson, who's a good safety, and they signed that nickel cornerback. What's his name? He's a good player.
Let me find out.
John Johnson, great player. Parents must hate him though.
Yeah, I don't want to think about this kid's name. John Johnson.
He's the third
Troy
too,
Hill.
I think.
Troy Hill, one of the best slot cornerbacks in the NFL last season, and that was a big weakness for them last year. So I do like what they did this offseason, but I think it's going to take a few weeks to get adjusted to, especially with the shorter preseason this year, and obviously it's just harder to get up to speed now with like COVID going on, and that's just like the perfect storm to. On the other side, you have the Chiefs, who have a lot of familiar faces, obviously studs all around on offense. They're going to be a well-oiled machine right from the start. I think they cover this -6 easily, and put the hurting on the Browns. But I do like the Browns' outlook this season, but I think it's going to just take them a couple of weeks to get up to speed.
Okay. All right.
And Matt's going to bet on the Chiefs now.
On the Chiefs.
Yeah, I think I convinced you.
I might have to make a switch to Cleveland. I'll go. I actually didn't pick that game. I'm going to go with my first pick here is the Monday Night Football game. Give me the Baltimore Ravens -4.5 over the Raiders. I mean, why would the Ravens not win by 20?
Yeah.
Because they're in Vegas. They're going to be partying.
It's in Vegas. It's the first game with fans in this new stadium, I think. That'll be interesting to see. Obviously, they gave them the prime time slot, Monday Night Football. But it's the same Raiders team that it is every year. I don't really understand what the hell John Gruden is doing. Apparently,
so the same Raiders team that's going to win a big early season game on national TV, and then
but not week one.
Inspire false hope.
Yes, and then they have a crushing loss probably to the Jets again, and then fall apart.
Literally every year like clockwork.
No, I don't think that the Raiders defense has anything to give Baltimore, and this is one of those games. You talk about the Raiders always, having that marquee win on prime time, and that does happen. I think they beat the Saints last year on Monday Night Football. I believe we were at your house for that game, if you remember. But what we see also, early season Ravens, you just turn on and they're not on red zone, but every time they're on red zone, it's just a 50-yard touchdown against some shitty team every single week. So I have no reason to believe that they won't do that again in prime time. So 4.5 is nothing. I'm very confident taking the Baltimore Ravens here.
All right. I hate
You could make the same picks.
I know, but I might save it for the next one. And
Next week, you want to take Ravens Raiders?
I just want to talk about a different game. Everyone's referring to this as you can call it the toilet bowl, the shit bowl. We have Jaguars, Texans, two terrible teams.
Can't wait for that one.
But the Jaguars are -2.5. I don't care if it's in Houston. They are the by far worst team in the league. And even with the Jaguars' O-line struggles, so it seems the Texans have absolutely nobody on defense that strikes fear into any offense around the league. And the Jaguars do have some decent weapons back there for Mr. Trevor Lawrence. I expect him to come out cooking, and I don't see Tyrod Taylor putting up points on anybody. I don't even need to name a player on the Jacksonville defense. Houston's going to be a disaster. Jaguars are -2.5. That's my first pick.
See, this is why I like this segment. Where else are you getting Jaguars Texans talk?
Exactly.
I was thinking about picking that one.
When are the Jaguars ever favorites on the road?
Exactly. Never. This is legendary.
Actually, never in the last 3 seasons.
So that's my pick for the first spread go around. I don't know.
Why don't
what
we
the fuck to
snake
call
it?
Snake it? You want me to go again?
Yeah.
We know your pick.
No, I'm changing it.
Okay. All right,
Okay. So I feel like a pussy though.
You are one.
Okay, I like Miami at New England. Miami is +3.
Almost took that one.
I like them to. I think they're just going to straight up beat the Patriots. I think they're a better team.
Don't believe in Big Mac.
Look, I think he could turn out good. I'd hope he gets his fucking ass smacked in week 1. I can't stand all this talk. We've talked about it a few weeks ago on the show, and I wasn't hearing it as much. But now that he's been announced a starter, it's all over the place. Look, that's not a good reason to make a pick. But, no, I do think the Dolphins are just a better team overall. They have a great secondary and a pretty good defense. And, we'll see what Tua can do. He's in his second year, so he should be farther along than Mac Jones is. They have some pretty good weapons there. I like them to beat the Patriots, or at least.
I was very close to picking that game.
I like it.
The Pats front seven is a little scary, though. I don't know if Tua's getting his ass kicked all game. It might.
You're right. You're right. But
how's their line?
The Dolphins line is doesn't look great.
Really?
Yeah, it was that, or I was gonna do Vikings -3 against the Bengals, but I didn't want to do another minus, so I wanted to go with a plus. Someone who was underdog. So that's my pick.
Right.
Big plus minus guy.
Yeah, I was very close to that one, but I went with Chargers -1 in Washington. Completely non-biased pick here. I don't like to really hype up the Chargers on this show because it seems to always come back and bite me in the ass. They just got to win the game, -1. Just beat the Washington football team. Obviously, I think that Washington is in the running for the best defense in the NFL. Really all across the board, they're a problem. They were one of the best defenses last year. A lot of young guys too that are going to, another year of experience. I think this will be a close game, but this is the healthiest I think the Chargers have been ever coming into the season. The only question mark is right now is Brian Bulaga, who looks like he is going to play, but that guy is just permanently injured. So you don't really have to look too much into that, but they are healthy. They're ready to go. Justin Herbert in year 2. It's going to be a tough test going up against that defense week 1. We'll see, how legit Herbert's rookie season was. But I expect this to kind of be like a low-scoring game. And, once it comes down to the wire, Fitzmagic will turn Fitztragic, and he will do something wrong. And I think the Chargers can squeak this one out. -1, I'll take it.
Good pick.
All right.
I like it.
All right. I'm going over to the West Coast to pick the Bears-Rams game.
Sunday night.
Guys, yeah, that's the Sunday night matchup. If our fans tuned into last week's episode, my bold prediction was that the Rams would miss the playoffs, which is very bold. And feeling a little uneasy about it, but at least in the early going here, I think it's going to take some time for Stafford to get acclimated to that offense, and the spread is 7.5 points here. I do not think the Bears are even close to as good of a team as the Rams are, and I'm sure the Rams will win, but a 7.5 point spread is really big for a quarterback who's just getting acclimated with a new offense and all these new players. And McVay is, I'm sure McVay's offense isn't like cupcake to learn. It's probably pretty tough, and he's going right into the spotlight. Whereas over the last decade or so, he's been, in Detroit, kind of, great player, but pretty irrelevant, dealing with some pretty shitty coaches. So I just think it's going to take him a few weeks to get up to speed there. And a 7.5 point spread is just major, especially against a team like the Bears. That's always, people criticize them, but they're always right around, that 500 mark, right around in the playoff hunt. They made the playoffs last year. So, if you just roll over and die with them, they will beat you.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they got the red rifle.
Yeah, they usually play close games, ugly football.
Yeah.
That
so
half
give
point
me
is a big one.
Yeah, give me Bears plus 7.5.
Like it.
All right.
And Igal, finish us off. You started
All
off
right.
the new segment. You're finishing off the new segment.
All right. I'm surprised none of you have taken this game, but I guess whatever. I'm going to take Seattle Seahawks minus 2.5 in Indy. I like this game. I know both defenses might be a little bit shaky, but this is a team they lost right in the wild card, the Seahawks last year.
Yeah, to the Rams.
To the Rams, they lost in the wild. Listen, still a great team. I believe that Russell Wilson's still a good, great quarterback in this league. And listen, Carson Wentz just got out of an injury. He didn't have as much training in training camp
And he was in the COVID protocol, right?
Yep. So I don't know, you never know, like delays like that. So I'm taking 2.5 points, just win by a field goal, kick it at the end. What do I care?
It's a good pick. Yeah, it's a good point. And then T.Y. Hilton's out. Quentin Nelson missed a lot of time with the same injury as Wentz. They're both going to be back.
They are limping into the season pretty badly right now.
Uh-huh. All right. Well,
I thought about it. But Carson Wentz is my quarterback now. So I got to support.
I thought about it too.
I fucked that up so bad. The not picking a quarterback until round fucking 11.
Yeah,
I think I picked my quarterback in my 3rd and 14th.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened.
You'll be fine.
All right, 13.
Well, that does it for the predictions.
Yeah, we got. What the fuck is that?
Who projected that? 0-13.
It's based on your points projected for the season, based on who you play against.
I'm projected to win my week 1.
Okay, well then that doesn't make any sense.
I don't get it.
Weird.
All
right. Well, we are now at the end of the show. I really like the way we're doing the picks now. I think that
it's exciting.
Really spices it up a little bit. We will have some similar ones in the future, I'm sure. But either way, it's fun to talk about. You guys ready to sign off?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all I got, everybody. Hope you enjoy your week 1 of the NFL season. We made it, and thank you for listening.
Yeah, I'm sure next week's going to be Hot Take Central all around the country, all around the world. We'll be right here on this show talking about all of them.
If you're into those hot takes, look no further. We got the big time headliner on this show and this show only. Yep. You know where to come for that entertaining content.
Yep. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week.